Before we start today's San Francisco 49ers report, keep in mind that the NFL will be releasing all 32 schedules across the National Football League tomorrow on Thursday. We'll, of course, break it down right here on the San Francisco 49ers report by Chat Sports. But if you're excited to see who the Niners are playing exactly when, I want you to hit that thumbs up icon and like the video. This is really the first indication of when you can start to really look at the 49ers schedule to see who they're going to play, when they're going to play, but how many games they can win, and it allows us to take a look ahead to the 2023 NFL season so that we can start to talk some Niners football. Hit that like button, and let's start the show. All right, here we go. What's up? Welcome in. You're watching the 49ers Report by Chat Sports. I'm Chase Sr. Today's show is made possible thanks to our friends at Kanzuri. 15% off using the code CHAT at kanzuri.com/chat. Fellas, are you tired of feeling insecure about your height? Kanzuri makes shoes that can add up to 2.8 inches to your height discreetly. Women get heels, makeup, and push-up bras. Why can't men get a confidence boost as well? We're all the same height lying down anyway, if you know what I mean. Kanzuri shoes are not only height boosting, but also stylish and comfortable. They're not Grandpa's Velcro shoes. Come on, Grandpa. But instead, fashionable shoes that can receive compliments even without the height increase. The height insoles are integrated into the shoes, making it the ultimate height hack. For a limited time, Kanzuri is offering our viewers an exclusive discount of 15% off on top of their up to 30% site-wide discount. All you have to do, faithful, use the code CHAT at kanzuri.com/chat to get your 45% off. Don't wait any longer. Upgrade your shoe game and confidence right now at kanzuri.com/chat. We'll put that link in the comment section and in the description of this video. So the topic of today's show is to take a deep dive look at the 49ers schedule, the analytics behind it before we know exactly when the Niners are playing these games, because there's some interesting and very important information to relay to everybody. Then at the end of the show, Bleacher Report has the Niners defense ranked where among all 32 teams in the NFL? Hang out with us. You're not going to get disappointed. So, as for the NFL schedule, this is pretty cool, right? And this is why the NFL just remains king across America and why it has a stranglehold on America and really fans worldwide, right? The 2023 NFL season will feature 14 playoff rematches from last year. That is the most in the history of the National Football League, and that includes the San Francisco 49ers traveling to Philadelphia to take on the Eagles in a rematch of the NFC Championship game. There has been some Niners and NFL schedule controversy. A local television station did report that the Niners will travel to Philly to take on the Eagles in Week 13 on December 3rd. They tweeted that out. It was picked up by a lot of aggregators, and then that television station deleted the tweet. Is it going to happen? We know that game is going to take place. Again, we just don't know when, but we'll break it down tomorrow when the schedule becomes official right here on the channel. Like I said, we know who the Niners' opponents are. Home slate. There are 8 games at Levi Stadium in Santa Clara. Arizona Cardinals, Los Angeles Rams, Seattle Seahawks. All in the NFC West, of course. Home game against the Dallas Cowboys probably will be one of the most watched regular season games in 2023. New York Giants come to town, Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens, Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals, and then the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Baker Mayfield could be their starting quarterback. Away games for the Niners. The divisional opponents, of course, the Cardinals, a home game at Levi South at SoFi. Up to the Pacific Northwest to take on a much-improved Seahawks team that I think could give the Niners a run for their money to win the NFC West crown. Philadelphia Eagles on the road, Washington Commanders, Cleveland Browns, Pittsburgh Steelers, Minnesota Vikings, and the Jacksonville Jaguars. 9 games on the road for the Niners, and does it sound like a lot of travel? It is. And we'll take a look at that coming up in just a few moments. Per NFL research, among all 32 teams in the NFL, San Francisco actually has the 15th hardest schedule. For a team that was in the Final Four, it's not about bad outlook heading into the 2023 campaign. You look at how it shakes out for all these teams in the NFL. It's the Niners at 15th, and it's the Philadelphia Eagles, who the Niners lost to in the NFC Championship game, at number 1 on this list. And a couple of quick takeaways here. Rolly, you could pop up that picture. That's all good. You have the Miami Dolphins at number 2, New York Giants at number 3. And then after that, a couple of interesting teams. New England Patriots, Dallas Cowboys. So for the San Francisco 49ers to check in at number 15 on that list, considering how far they made it last year, them still having an opportunity to win for a Super Bowl this year, maybe they could have some breaks in that schedule. Not with their travel, though. The Niners traveling the second most miles among all teams in the NFL, which is actually pretty interesting as well. Now, there are a couple of takeaways here, and we'll get to that. It's the Seattle Seahawks traveling the most among all teams in the NFL. They're all the way up, tucked in the Pacific Northwest. Now, the San Francisco 49ers are in California, of course, but in Northern California. So they do have to travel a lot. So the Niners kind of shafted in that regard. You look at the Niners travel per time zone. This is why you subscribe to the show. Who else is doing a deep breakdown like this on the eve of NFL schedule release day? There are 5 games in the Eastern time zone for the Niners. Philadelphia Eagles, Pittsburgh Steelers, Washington Commanders, Cleveland Browns, and the Jacksonville Jaguars. 1 game in the Central time zone, that's the Minnesota Vikings. 1 game in the Mountain time zone, not far travel at all for San Francisco. They're used to it. Arizona Cardinals, and then obviously short trips against the Rams and the Seattle Seahawks as well. So that's a great schedule breakdown there for the Niners. What will San Francisco's record be in 2023? Last year, 13-4. I'm thinking somewhere between that 11 and 13 win range. Just got to figure out what the quarterback position is going to look like. As for where the Niners defense is ranked, according to Bleacher Report, ranking the Niners as the number 1 defense, in the NFL following the NFL draft. Bleacher Report's top defenses heading into 2023. It's the Niners number 1, Philadelphia Eagles in that 2 spot, New York Jets in the 3rd poll, Washington Commanders 4th, and then the Baltimore Ravens at number 5. As far as yardage went last year, the Niners ranked number 1. As far as points allowed, San Francisco, under defensive coordinator DeMeco Ryans, now the head coach for the Houston Texans, ranking number 1. Not going to be a massive drop-off, or any drop-off at all, going from DeMeco Ryans to Steve Wilks, who when I talked to Jay Glazer, NFL insider for Fox Sports at the Super Bowl, he said that people who he's talked to across the NFL think that Steve Wilks hire could be the best coaching hire among all teams in the NFL. That includes some head coaches as well. Remember that as the season gets going. Niners key additions on the defensive side of the football. Javon Hargrave, 11 sacks last year, has been one of the best defensive tackles in the sport, right up there with Aaron Donald and Chris Jones over the last couple of years. Isaiah Oliver is going to surprise a lot of people. If you remember back to that Falcons game on the road in which the Niners got bludgeoned, he picked off Jimmy Garoppolo. Cleveland Farrell, I think, is going to be a great Chris Kosarek developmental project. He comes in as a backup edge rusher. Jair Brown, the safety, I think is going to make an impact. 87th overall pick in the 3rd round for the Niners. Some key losses to note as well, though. Samson Ebukam, the edge rusher. Jimmy Ward, the safety. Charles Omenihu, edge rusher. Azeez Al-Shire, linebacker. Hassan Ridgeway, defensive tackle. Ridgeway going to the Texans. Al-Shire to the Titans. Omenihu to the Chiefs. Jimmy Ward to the Texans as well. And Samson Ebukam, actually the highest paid edge rusher in free agency this offseason, headed to the Indianapolis Colts. Here's why Bleacher Report had the Niners ranked number 1 as far as defenses go in this league. Teams like the Eagles and Jets may make a case for the top spot in 2023, but picking the 49ers post-draft, an easy and correct choice, led by playmakers like Fred Warner, Talanoa Hufanga, Dre Greenlaw, Tashaun Gipson, and reigning Defensive Player of the Year Nick Bosa, the 49ers defense doesn't have any one glaring weakness. A team that ranked first in both yards and points allowed, second in takeaways, first in turnover differential at plus 13 will be just as dangerous in 2023. Yes, the 49ers lost defensive coordinator DeMeco Ryans to the Texans. There shouldn't be many drastic differences, even with new coordinator Steve Wilks coming out from outside of the organization. And I think a good point there is this, right? Like, the Niners don't really have many glaring weaknesses on this roster. Some people might say cornerback, but I'll take Charvarius Ward and Diamador Lenore, as you lost Emmanuel Mosley, but then you have Isaiah Oliver, and I think Samuel Womack is going to be a solid player. Gipson and Hufanga were great on that back end at that safety spot. And then at the linebacking spot, Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw, still two of the top linebackers in the game, and their defensive line is really good, although it's not as deep as Philadelphia's, in my opinion. Before we wrap up, where would you rank the Niners defense in the NFL right now? 1 to 32, because, of course, 32 teams in the NFL. We want to hear from the faithful, so chime in, show up, show out down in the comments section, and don't forget to subscribe. Tomorrow, NFL schedule release day. As soon as we get our hands on that Niners schedule, we'll break it down.